Well, it's Rocken Locken here from the southern Oregon coast. Yeah, I had hoped to get out here while the sun was going down, but I got stuck doing something. And so, well, I guess there it is, but we got any friends in the clouds? Well, hello, friends. How's it going up there? Yeah? Are you aware that I'm talking about you? Do you know I'm around? Yeah, well, times are changing for sure. I mean, well, of course they always are. That's a kind of a stale saying, but we're really shifting, going into these little small dimensional shifts, like we're climbing up the rung of a dimensional ladder with all these, celestial events, the blood moon, um, you name it, every moon we've had the last, I don't know, year or more, right? I can remember when this particular wave started to really hit again after things had been stale quite a while. It was not this last November, but the November before, November of 24. The energies were nuts. They were unlike anything I had seen since, at the soonest to go, early 2016. But really, from 2011 through 2015, we were really hit with those energies hard, man. People that were awakened at the time or awakening, light workers and starseeds, the ascension symptoms were just nuts. I've told the story before. An old co-host of mine, Raquel Toombs, up in Canada, I can remember her calling, and she's a great, strong woman. I can remember her and I on the phone for like hours, back around 2014 and stuff. And man, she'd be going through these nasty ascension symptoms. I mean, she'd be laying on the floor doing telekinesis like all day, and she felt like her body, she was coming out of her body. It was just really nuts. And she'd probably kill me for telling this, but I've told this before. One night we were talking on the phone, and she said, man, my body is changing so bad. I feel like I'm going to turn into a bird, and the zoo's going to come get me anytime now. And yeah, I had to take my mouth away from the phone because I took a drink of a Pepsi and I like spit it through my nose laughing because the way she said it was just hilarious. The zoo's gonna come get me. But I felt for her. She was in a lot of misery, man. I mean, severely going through ascension symptoms. Yeah, it was crazy. And the vibrating was really loud around that time too, those years. Living right here on the Oregon coast, I could really hear it. The West Coast was just pelted with it. The energies were so strong, in fact, that late at night, from about 11:30 at night after the local news ended till about 6 in the morning or so, if you had the television on, which I wasn't really big into TV, but I'd have it on sometimes, if you had it on like the network channels, all these beings would start flooding through the screen, and the screen would just move ever so subtly. And if you weren't in tune with it, it's not something you'd really notice. But I mean, I'm talking like in the background and shit of the late night shows, whatever infomercial was on, everything. Now, it's funny, it really only affected the network channels, that whether you had them with an antenna or whether you had them on cable, like, because with cable you can still get ABC, NBC, Fox, the local, ABC affiliates. And it was mainly those, on the lower channels that had it really strong. I mean, some of the others did too, but not real noticeable. But man, if you had it on one of those networks, it wouldn't matter what was on, and the TV would just, it would move ever so, just slightly. Like I said, you'd have to, and even a lot of starseeds, if you didn't think about it, probably wouldn't notice it, unless I would have pointed it out to them. But it was just kind of in waves, and all these beings were popping through, their faces all through it. Like they were the phones too. Like they do now. Their energy, frequency is energy, and their energy is so strong, some of them, like the elementals, and I know like the blue frequencies I channel have talked about it, right? That they come through, they can't help it, but their sound and their voices and stuff and the way they communicate with each other can come through some of our electronics. And it can sound weird, I know, but it's really not. It's just that their energy is so strong that it comes through. I mean, it's not the fucking devil trying to get through your, I mean, if you want, but you can create your own reality. If you want to believe it is, you certainly could. And really, it's about using your discernment in every now second you're in. That's it. It's about using your complete discernment no matter what. It's not about being paranoid or being completely in la la land like nothing's up. It's about every now second. The only thing you can deal with is the now second you have. And if you prepare for that in the best way while you're in it, I mean, then the next now moments will take care of themselves because you'll have to react in that. Oh, hi, little guys over there in the trees. Hi, my little elemental friends popping in to watch. Every time I do a little talk, they kind of pop in. You know, sometimes they really are strong. Like when the sun's out, especially, I'm out here and I can't really see because that coastal sun is so blinding here. Alcyone pumping through it nowadays too, spiraling her light and love through it. I can't see, so afterward I'll look at the tape and they're just all over. You know, I mean, it wasn't just a couple weeks ago. It was really beautiful pink skies out, and I was at the store and I started filming, and I'm like, oh my God, the pink frequencies, what do they want? These pink frequencies are hogging the sky. They're covering up these beautiful power lines, you know, making all kinds of stupid jokes like I do. And the elementals started popping in, and they had the strangest looks on their face, like their jaws were dropped, and they were looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah, they didn't know. They were like, okay, his energy feels great and everything, but the words he's saying, though, from what we've heard before, those don't sound like good words. You know, they knew I was joking, but I think I kind of threw them for a loop. They started popping in and giving me that funny look, you know, with their heads turned to the side and their jaws kind of dropped and their lips out. They're like, oh. Yeah, as I'm telling everybody, these pink frequencies are a danger to humanity. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's about it. I mean, you know, a lot of things are just, we're shifting timelines, of course. You know, what we're really doing is and we know this, we've moved into the age of Aquarius, right? So it's not just a timeline shift. It's a pretty big fucking deal, you know, shifting into another age. You know, I mean, that only happens once in, you know, several millennia, not very often. Let me put it this way. It's a safe bet that any human that's ever lived on the earth, and you're only going to live through one of them if you happen to be lucky to live through one of them. And look at, you know, now most people alive have lived through a millennium change. Shows how old I'm getting, though, because there are people that, oh Christ, somebody's 26 and didn't live through the change. My son, my middle child, my youngest son, is going to be 26 on March 19th, and he didn't live through it because he was born in 2000. My oldest did. My oldest son, he was born December 3rd, 97. So, you know, he lived through it, but he don't remember it. And my daughter, you know, she was born January 10th of 2003. So, fuck, I'm getting old. God, they're all going to be 30 before I know it. I don't know, it's weird. It's like I feel 18, 19, 20 still in the mind. But I feel, you know, of course my body feels it, right? My body sometimes feels like I'm probably 70 at times, but that's just kind of how it goes. And that's it, and that's that, and yeah, but everybody just stay cool, star babies. You know, it is what it is. There's all kinds of distractions that, you know, can get distracted on that we got going on, especially here in America, you know, Iran, you know, the never-ending Epstein files, which, you know, that's kind of how it goes when you're in that kind of a league, you know. I'm sure that, yeah, well, you know, you got two sides that want to just blame the other one, but really probably both people have had a little bit of, I'll just leave it at that, have had a little bit to do it. Neither one of those people are completely innocent. But, you know, it would be nice if one of them would actually testify. I mean, you know, but you can't just be for one or the other. Only that's a fucking fool's errand. I mean, look, before he ran for president, him and a former president of ours from the other party, they met for a couple hours before he announced his candidacy that day. So, I mean, they know each other and shit. I mean, I've worked in politics. These people, it's like pro wrestling. You go home afterward and you're friends, but you're not really. There's still that politics of who's gonna get over and shit, right? Like there is backstage at wrestling. Yes, it's a setup, but yes, there's still that, you know, they're friends and they're not friends. It's complicated. It's not as bad as people think it is. It's never been around it, but it's worse than they can imagine in some aspects, right? And I don't say that to mean it's worse beyond your wildest dreams. It's just, the intricacies of it. You can know the beginning and you can know the end of a book, right? And okay, and if you're pretty enlightened, you get the gist of how it went. But if you don't read the meat in between, you know, there's a lot of things that you miss out on that could help, you know, formulate how you perceive that ending a little bit better. You know what I mean? So, you know, people can save that shit if, oh, one's innocent over the other, you know, or whatever. Really, to me, like I've said it before, if you really want to go there, the tape of his supposed suicide, oh, they don't have the tape. Why aren't people pissed about that? Fuck what else was going on. Fuck what's going on with Trump or Clinton. What about those goddamn tape? Yeah, they don't have it, but why? Oh, it's a power glitch. Okay, let's say it was. Let's say, for instance, let's just humor me, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Let's just say, everybody, go to pretend land with me. It was a glitch. Okay, it was just a glitch. Right, it was a glitch. They had a power outage in the area, what the fuck ever. Wrong, they have backup generators that go on in a second, and I know how those work. I mean, they're on before you can even have a thought, right? And especially in a situation like that, they goddamn well better be, and even quicker. All right, so one, if it was completely innocent, right, that warden should still be fired. How inept, how inadequate and inept. And then if he tries to blame the IT guy, even if it was the IT guy's fault, I still can the son of a bitch for trying to pass the buck. On a situation like that, it was his responsibility. Yeah, I'd like to see somebody try to defend him, you know, or those guards. I mean, I wonder what kind of Swiss bank accounts, you know, some of them got set up. I mean, somebody does. You know, I mean, that didn't just, it didn't go out. You know, it would be a fluke of a fluke of a fluke if it just happened to go out the power at that time and it was just an innocent glitch, and the backup generator failed too, right? And still, if that's the case, I'm willing to believe that's the case. And I'm willing to believe it. But at the same time, in believing it, I want that prison warden terminated, you know, or at least you can terminate him and then he can try to fight for his job back. The guards, same thing. The head CO that was on duty that night, can his ass. He's part of a union, I'm sure, but what you do is you can him so, you know, he can fight for some of his benefits back, right? And you meet the union in the middle, play hardball with them. And I'm a big ass union guy, but in this case, you know, knowing that